This was me before. This is me now. And this wasn't supposed to happen.
At 19, I left India to study medicine in Russia. Then I quit medicine entirely and started making AI tools remotely. And now I can work from anywhere in the world. This is my first YouTube video, and let me tell you how I got here. And if any of this resonates with you, please subscribe, like, save, share, whatever you have to do, because I'm just getting started and your support early on makes an actual difference.
Before that, let's just clean the house first. This little creature here is my first pet, Kiwi. She's a British Shorthair.
So, a quick background. I'm from India. I just turned 28 a couple months ago, and just like a lot of Indian kids, the path was supposed to be study hard, get into a good medical college, make your parents proud and everyone else related to you proud. But I had teachers in school who, before I even got into university, who looked at me and my grades and asked me like, "Are you sure you want to take up physics, chemistry, biology, and all those PCB stuff, like PCB subjects, right? And based on your marks, I don't think you could do it." So that's what they said. And this is the problem with a lot of educators, like which, and no offense to them, it's just that if your marks aren't good as a student, right, they assume that you can't do anything. And not every subject is the same, and not every student learns the same way. The kind of that particular kind of criticism is just ridiculous in my eyes. And as an educator, your job is to understand what the student wants and not just shut them down before they even start. Sometimes, okay, some people, like some educators, know what they're doing, but some don't. In my case, they don't. So I took the NEET exam. It's the national entrance exam for medicine in India, and my score wasn't bad, but it wasn't good enough for a government university. So the private ones wanted donations, and by donations, I do not mean charity, because in modern world, like in US and in other countries, you think that donations is charity, but it's not. Like, no, donation is basically that you pay hundreds of thousands of rupees just to buy a seat in that particular university or college. And then you pay a tuition on top of that. So we at that point did not have that kind of money. And I actually thought about switching to business management at that point as well. But something in me just didn't want to let go of medicine. and I was a basic diehard, like I want to become a doctor, help people, etc. But honestly, like Russia was also like an escape for me. Things at home were not in a good place at the time when I did went to Russia, and the environment wasn't great. And I genuinely knew that if I had to grow, I have to leave the place where I'm at. The most amount of growth comes basically when you leave home and go somewhere completely new and figure things out yourself. So in March 2017, I landed in Kursk, Kursk State Medical University in Russia. It's about like 5 hour drive from Moscow. I was 19 at the time and didn't speak Russian, had no idea, and did not know a single person over there. And but I was out, and that was the point of me just going there. I wanted to be in a different environment. I just did not want to stay at home. Now, here's what nobody tells you about being a doctor in India. Let me give you some actual numbers. The fresh medical graduate, like the MBBS graduate in a government hospital, makes about 25 to 50,000 rupees a month, or actually should be making 25 to 50,000 rupees a month. But in some places, they do not pay them that much, and they just basically lower the stipends for these kind of people. That's roughly about like $300 to $600 a month. Internship stipends, like if you talk about internship stipends as well, after like while working or actually while studying within a hospital in university, you can get stipends for internship, right? Which is mostly every 4.5 years of Indian medical education. So in India, they pay roughly about like 10 to 15,000 rupees a month, but in only some hospitals. Because what I have noticed is that in some places they pay like 4 or 5,000 rupees for internship per student, and it's not sustainable. This is just like after spending, 5.5 years in medical school, like maximum of 50,000 of what you're getting. It's not ideal or sustainable in my eyes. Of course, like majority of people do make in that category, but I did not want to, categorize myself as working in that field, etc. Like I just did not want to work there. Even after like 10 to 15 years of practice, most general physicians in India are making like 8 to 15 lakhs a year, which is like $15,000 or something around that range. And it takes a decade plus of specialization to actually like break into serious money. And I recently spoke to a doctor with over like 25 years experience, and he makes less than half of what I make right now. 25 years, right? Like just think about that. Like 25 years of experience. I did not want to be in a place where, okay, you know, you're working for 25 years and you don't have much savings, or even if you have savings, it's just that it's way low. Like I do not want to be limited in my life, and I do not want to be classified as a normal doctor that just makes hand to mouth money, as they call it in India. Now, here's where things get interesting for me. So I just didn't want to study medicine. While everyone else was focused purely on like their coursework and all the other like practicals, etc. Like I was focused on that too. It's just I was spending every free hour learning other things as well. The feedback I was getting from like senior doctors at the time was that people with like 10, 15 years experience was not encouraging. Like some people do not want their children to be doctors, or they do not want their own like near and dear ones to be doctors. Like some do, some don't. And it all comes down to that person's choice, I would say. It was not encouraging, right? And they didn't have time for to switch. They were stuck, and I could see that coming for myself as well. Like if I did not start building something else alongside medicine. So I started learning. I started learning how to trade as well, business economics, digital marketing, personal finance, how money actually works, because they don't teach you this in school. How businesses scale, how operations are run, consulting frameworks, all these kind of things. Like I just went deep into it. Sometimes I eat once a day, and I'd eat food while watching YouTube tutorials and making notes at the same time. I found courses through, let's just say, unconventional sources online, like just like I don't want to name it, but basically like I just sat there and absorbed all these information. At that point, COVID hit, and while the world paused, I doubled down. Like 2 to 3 hours of just like grinding through information, just about like how businesses are run and how they actually operate. I used to buy like big bundles of like printing paper just to write notes by hand, like those thick bundles which you get with printing, like printing machines, right? So I used to buy those and just make notes using that. That's how I learned. And what came out of it was something I didn't expect. So I became really good operator, and when I work with a company now, I go in from like the ground up. Like I need to understand every department, every workflow, like every SOP, because I see the full picture. Like I can spot the breakage points before they even happen. I'm a good operational guy, an operational risk guy, you can say, and I know which department is going to be affected if we launch a certain product, or if we change something in one SOP or something like that. And that's a skill that medicine actually like trained me for in a way. It's like pattern recognition in some sort of way. You can triage, you have systems thinking, and I just applied that to business instead of patients. Today I just use AI on a daily basis to do all of this faster, basically like Claude, ChatGPT, co-work sessions, or whatever the case is, like Whisper Flow instead of just typing. Like for dictation instead of typing, and I rarely type anymore. Like back then in university, none of this was possible, or existed, or even if they existed, I did not know much about it. So it was just me, YouTube, and just stacks of paper at the time. So now one of the best decisions I made in university, the head of the master's in public health program in my university, he was a Harvard alumnus and a great professor, probably around 60 years old. Like his name was like Dr. Nicholas Tanzanius. He was a real like mentor to me and taught me how to write research papers and how to think about public health systems systematically. He announced that any student actually who could complete the MPH program, which is the Masters in Public Health program, before graduating from their MBBS degree or MD degree, so they call it in Russia. If you could do that, you could get both the degrees at the same time. So basically like a dual degree program without paying extra tuition, provided you actually finish the coursework before graduating from MBBS. Like at the day of your graduation, you should have finished all your coursework for MD, basically. So here's the catch, right? Like if you couldn't finish it on time, you'd have to pay tuition fees for every extra month. And I did not have that kind of money, nor my parents, and we were having like struggling financially at the time. So I found out about this in my fifth year, and then the program was designed to take like at least 2 years. So I'm graduating in a year or a year and a half, but I only have like I don't have much time because I have to manage my current existing coursework as well, like the practicals, operative surgery, and all those kind of things. And then I had to basically like double down on the effort that I was making, and plus at the same time I was trying to find a job as well so I could sustain myself and pay my own tuition fees. So I found out about this in my fifth year, and the program was designed to take about 2 years, and I had like roughly about a year and a half before the MBS graduation. So I finished it in 6 months, basically. So yeah, I finished it in 6 months. Perfect score. I wrote my research paper entirely by hand. Like by hand, I mean like by typing. No AI, no ChatGPT, because none of that existed for me yet. Because either I did not know about it or they did not exist. And it got published in two journals. So one was a Russian journal, and one is an affiliate international journal of theirs, like their programs. And it passed all the plagiarism checks with flying colors. Like it was just amazing. And on the graduation day, so I walked out with 2 degrees, which is really grateful. If you think about it, like I technically got my master's degree before my bachelor's. They just handed me both on the same day. But yeah, just to give an idea, just to give up some background, right, behind the dual degree. Now, to talk about even about the dual degree, right, like right now, if I look at it, it wasn't that useful because I'm not even utilizing any of those capabilities, but it made me research friendly. Like I'm good at research now, so it also helps in terms of like utilizing AI to its most potential to know, okay, what sources to even look into and what to follow, what not to follow, etc. So moving on, I want to be real about something. This wasn't just like it wasn't a comfortable journey for me. And I remember a night in my first or second year in Russia, my roommate had moved out, and the hostel was rough, cockroaches and bed bugs, and we had to do disinfections every few months. And in that room, particularly, like at that time, I was alone, and I came back from university around like 8 p.m. in the evening. Classes had started like 7:30 in the morning. I was exhausted, hungry. I couldn't find anything to eat, and I just, basically just laid on my bed and passed out, like just slept. I don't know what happened. I just dozed off. I woke up around 11:30 at night, and every shop at the time was closed. It was freezing outside, like something negative, 20 or something. And but there was one small shop near the hostel, about like 5 minute walk away, and that closed at midnight. So it's like I had maybe like 10-15 minutes before they shut down or something like that, or before they closed operations that night. So I ran there, bought like 2 packets of instant noodles and Coca-Cola, Came back. Now the hostel stove shuts off at 1 a.m. and I had maybe like 45 minutes left till the stove shut off, and I cooked the noodles, cleaned everything up, came back to my room, and just put everything there. Put the plate on my desk, noodles, poured the Coca-Cola in a glass, sat down. I picked up the fork. I was about to take my first bite, and a cockroach fell on my noodles, like a cherry on top, like a small one, but a cherry on top, like just on the middle of the big noodle, like big part of noodles, in the middle, fucking middle. And um, I tried to flick it off, but it panicked and it started running all over the entire plate, the food in general. So I couldn't eat that night, and I had a glass of Coca-Cola and went to sleep. Next morning, canteen. So that's what the journey looked like like it's been like not the entire journey, but like it was part of it. And it's not some motivational poster like or something. It's just hunger, cockroaches, and just figuring things out. My family was in a serious debt during those years, and we were like borrowing from relatives, from friends, and who not. And my father got sick. Medical bills were piling up, and I'm just sitting there in Russia as a medical student, about to become a doctor, and I could not contribute a single penny. Like no single rupees I could contribute to the family, nothing at all. We had no savings. We were deep in loans from banks. Before I even graduated, I went back to India to take my father to the hospital, for his checkups and everything. While I was there, I also saw a signboard in the government hospital, like where we took him. It was like a semi-private hospital or like a government hospital, where the listing of internship stipends was there, like the notice board, like how much are we paying for internship stipends, and it was 4,000 rupees a month, which is like less than $50 every month for an intern. And my family's medical expenses alone were like 50,000, 60,000 a month. So just in medicines, like for both my mom and dad. So it's not sustainable to work in just medicine and just be relying on that income. So that's when I made the call. This is not going to cut it. Like medicine, even though I love being a doctor, I loved being a doctor. I can't take care of the family, and I can't take care of myself, not on the doctor's salary at least for not for a recent years, like a recent years to come, and because I needed money in the short term, and I don't have time to wait till long term. Like I've like what become 40 at like 30, 35 or 40 years of studying, and then then that's when I make money when I'm getting old. Like what the fuck? No. So yeah, I didn't have the years, and that's when I made the decision to leave medicine. So while I was still in my final year, I started applying for jobs, support roles, customer service, anything that I could find. I didn't care about the title, I just needed to get my foot in the door, just get started with things. At that time, my resume was like basically empty. I was a student, I had no work experience, I just listed some basic skills, and that's it, like computer skills, like what I could do on day-to-day basis, project management, whatever, right? I found a job posting from a proprietary trading firm on Discord and applied. So they liked me, but at that time the role was filled. 4 or 5 months down the line, they came back and said the team was expanding. They just wanted to reach out to me and see my availability. So here's the thing about how I approach opportunities. So I just apply. I don't care what the role is. If I see a CEO position posted, I'll apply for it. I don't care. Like if the role is actually what I want to do, and doesn't have if the role is something which I really want to do, and I will still apply for it. It doesn't matter if they call me to an interview or not. I just apply. And even if the role is way below what I really want, I will still apply if they don't have an opening. My job is to get in. My role could be below me, above me, sideways. I don't care. I get in, prove myself once I'm inside, and I know because I know I can deliver. So that's what I do. And I applied for a support agent position at the time, right? Just as a normal customer support agent because I just wanted some side income. And they hired me as a supervisor instead. So because they could see I knew how to manage people, and I did at that time. So in university, I used to manage emergency drill teams, coordinating people, giving clear instructions under pressure. That's a skill that I carried over directly. And I applied for the support agent position at the time. They hired me as a supervisor, and basically I started with 3 direct reports. So within a year, the team grew to about 15, 16 people. And the way the company was running, a support was broken at the time. Like everyone was reporting to one person within the support department. So like they have 6 companies. So it was a consulting firm that was managing like 6 different companies. And each of those departments were like, they had like a few people there and they were expanding in all across the companies. However, like everyone used to report to just one tag person. Like it doesn't make sense. Like that's not the way to scale. Basically, like in my like, even though I did not have that much experience, and that's something which was very easily known to me. So I started with direct reports. Right within a year, the green team grew to 16, about 16 people. And the way the company was running, basically, I restructured the whole thing, right? So I restructured them. I found that there were like 3 or 4 other like agents that I worked with. They were really good. Promoted them to supervisors instead. Like I moved to an assistant manager role, promoted them to supervisors, and then found 2 or 3 other more people under them as assistant supervisors at the time, and built like a 3-tier hierarchy, where basically everyone just divides and conquers. And we were handling about like 300,000 tickets a year, which is like live chat support and emails combined, and everything like within just one company. Across the company, it'll be close to a million tickets a year. And I automated workflows using Intercom at the time, because Intercom, I believe, even in support, right, just in general, is a much far superior product than Fin. Sorry, not Fin. Than Zendesk. So Fin is an AI bot which is from Intercom, but is much more superior than what Zendesk is doing, and it's far superior. Like Zendesk is just old. And this is, but by no means I'm not taking a dig at anyone. It's just a honest review of how I have felt as an operator. So Zendesk, don't sue me. Um, and yeah, so we were handling all these tickets. Now, when I automated these workflows using Intercom, we saved about like 200 hours of manpower every single month. Like we cut response times by 60% and took self-serve resolution rates from about like 50% to 75% in some weeks. And even in some weeks, like we'd hit like 80, 82%, 85% self-serve resolutions, and even 90% on some days. Like it depends on how good of a system you've actually built and how much context you have given to the AI to actually help resolve those kind of issues. And then I got promoted again to a transformation manager of across the company. So like as an assistant manager, right, I was just managing one company at the time and giving consultancy to other firms as well. But eventually, I became a transformation manager of support transformation manager, and basically worked with like 5, 6 other firms, gave them the same blueprint which I was doing in one firm and copied it over to the others. It wasn't just like running one team anymore. I was redesigning operations across 6 different firms, and I was like the fastest person in the company to get promotions and salary raises. And this is not like to boast, but it's like every 2 to 3 months, automatically, I was getting a hike from the management team, because I wasn't there just to be like mediocre. Like I was transitioning away from medicine into something I have never done before. And any day, someone could have just said, "You're a doctor, that's why you can't do this. We're letting you go." So I had to be undeniable in that aspect, and so I just basically did everything. And that's when like something clicked. Like every company I looked at, in prop trading firms or in SaaS in general, anywhere, have the same broken processes in majority of the places, unless you have actually dialed down on things. But support, compliance, risk, operations, and across all these aspects, like there are always things that are broken which you need to be fixed. And I realized that if I can't fix it in one company, I can basically fix it in others as well. So the pattern is the same across everywhere. So yeah, after that, I just started my own consulting company. I just named it Right Consulting LLC, just single member LLC. I just named it that way. Not a fancy name, but it is what it is. So today I wear a few hats. So I manage product at a SaaS fintech company, writing PRDs, defining product logic, leading scrums with developers. I'm also head of compliance product and support at a prop trading firm, and where basically I built the entire departments from scratch, SOPs, escalation paths, everything. And I run my own consulting firm. I set it up as a single member LLC in the US. It's a way easier. It's way easier to set it up than people think. And if anyone's curious about how to do that, drop a comment below, and I'll point you in the right direction. The way it works is that I'm not an employee anywhere. I'm an independent contractor, and companies bring me in through my own LLC, put me in on a monthly retainer or invoice, and I deliver for them. Some give me internal titles like head of compliance or product lead, but legally, like I'm my own entity and one person running a consulting operation. So if in the future, like someone wants to hire me or whatever the thing is, you can either hire me through a consulting company or we can have an arrangement either way, like we can have a discussion. And that's the thing I love about this particular model is that I'm not limited. If I had stayed a doctor, I'd be tied to one hospital, one place, one city, like one schedule. Right now, like my clients are in Estonia, Canada, in other markets, and I work from Kuala Lumpur currently in Malaysia. Before that, I was in India. Before that, Russia for 6 years. I've been to Nigeria and lived there for 6, 7 years. I've lived in UAE. I've been to Thailand, Ethiopia. I have been to Jakarta, Indonesia. I can work from anywhere in the world because everything is remote. But here's the part that excites me the most is what I build. So I build AI agents that automate entire workflows. I build websites, apps, prototypes, plugins, internal tools. I design like UI, UX, everything, and how screens should actually look like. Like what the UI overall entire experience of a customer should look like, how users should move through a product. I build compliance frameworks and risk detection systems and flag fraud patterns before they cost companies millions. Personally, if I remember correctly, I have saved over a company like over $500,000 in just like from like fraudsters in general across me and my entire team. Like we're just working together. But in a lifetime of like the last couple of years, maybe over a million easily. Basically, like all of this, what I do is by also using AI nowadays, because before I was doing it manually, there was not that much AI available. But now I do it with AI, which is much more faster. I build AI agents, right? Automate majority everything. Like just give me a problem to solve, I'll solve it for you. Like I'm a good problem solver in that case, which I believe myself to be. I do all of this using AI as my like engineering team, Claude Code, Lovable, Replit, Cursor, whatever, just name them, right? And I have used all these platforms. I ship things in days that used to take dev teams weeks. So what is this channel? Three things. One, AI and automation, and say hi, Kiwi. Hi. Okay, go. So I'm building AI agents that run part of businesses autonomously. I'll show you what I'm building, at least what I'm allowed to show, and how I'm building it, and how you can do the same without even a technical background. I'll also cover reviews, opinions on updates in the AI space, and also just share what I have seen over the last couple of years of working across different industries. This is also for medical students and medical professionals who are thinking about transitioning. I've met a lot of people who are unhappy with where they are. I'm not saying you should leave medicine entirely. It's just a noble profession, but it's good to have another skill set that you can monetize over time. If that resonates with you, stick around. And also, I'll be honest, I want distribution as well. So I want to build a personal brand. I want to be able to have a voice in the space, or just share my opinions and projects on whatever I'm working on. And just because I like building, so I just want to show how my brain works and what I can do in general, right? And I also say this, that there's a concept from trading known as the risk to reward ratio, where you risk 1 to make 2, or you risk X to make X. But the bigger lesson is that if you don't take any risk, there is no reward. So basically, no risk, no reward. And opening this channel is a risk. It might work, it might not work, and if it doesn't, it'll be one of the things I tried. I take risks. That's how I've gotten to where I am. My goal is that at least one long form video a week needs to be posted by me. If it works, I don't know if I'm able to manage it, but at least one long form video and some shorts in between just to keep the channel going. This entire video was filmed within 2 days. Like I've been thinking of opening this channel for a couple of years, and I just never got the time, or I was lazy, or just caught up in other projects. So I just thought to film it, just get started with it. And if you're an editor or anyone who wants to maybe intern with me, or maybe just show me a portfolio, if we can work something out, so that it saves me time on the production side and I can focus actually on building and creating. I don't want to spend much time on editing, but if my AI editor, like which I'm working on, works out, then I might not need that. But again, it's work in progress. So reach out to me. And I recently moved to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. If you're here, hit me up. Basically anywhere in India, anywhere in the world. I'm building my network here in Kuala Lumpur and in general as well. So if you're local, let's meet. If you're around the globe, just hit me up on LinkedIn or send me a message down in the comment section below, and we'll connect. If you're a doctor thinking about making a change, message me. If you're a builder, founder, anyone who likes good company and real conversations, talking about operations in general, not medical operations, but just business operations in general. Let's connect. Even if you don't have time, even if we both don't have time for a full conversation, at least it'll just be good to connect for a few minutes even. That's fine. I'm dropping my LinkedIn and Twitter below. Follow me there as well. And the channel's name is Once a Doctor, because that's exactly what I am. Once a doctor, now something else entirely. If you watched till the end, please subscribe, share this video, and save it. It actually helps. I'm just getting started, and early support goes a long way. I'll see you in the next one.